There we go. All right, so we're going to go over the volume. So what did I say? What page is this on? 34, 35. All right. So this one should be 35. So let's take a look at what we got here. So now, this goes along with the standard that we have here for the GMD1. So there's a reason why I go back over these and I have you guys actually have these on your thing. This right here, when it's time to actually do a test recovery, we usually goes by that. So if you guys could actually look at these, be like, oh yeah, I gotta redo that one, or I have to fix that, or go back over that. You know, you could actually look at it. It should be on the top of just about all your notes. It's all there. Anyway, all right, so let's go through the volume here. So for volume on this, let me see if I can find my, all right. Okay, so the volume on this. The volume of a three-dimensional figure is the number of cubic units the figure can hold. The cubics units can't overlap. So there's some like a different way that I'm going to try and teach this. If you guys understand this part, then you could actually understand just about everything else. We're going to go along and do this. So we're going to take a look. This is actually called a right prism. That means that all the corners are right angles. They're all sides are parallel to each other. The opposite sides are parallel, and the sides are perpendicular to each other. Now, I want you guys to look at this. So, first thing, as we're doing this, if I trace over the base, I have grabbed some highlighters for this one today. All right, so if I trace over the base, I'm going to say that this is going to be the base right here. Now, if I understand that this is going to be the base of this, that's going to be the bottom. So it's going to be length times width times height. Now, so if I think about it, it's the area of the bottom, which I called it right here, the rectangle, or, you know, it's either rectangle or a square for this one right here. So, but it's just going to be the area that, like this times the height. So it's a rectangle that is tall. So it's a tall rectangle. So find the area of the rectangle and times it by the height. And that's going to give me how to actually find this one right here. So if I go along the formula that I have right here, it says I have the area of the base, which is this right here, which is, I just drew that right there. So that's my base times the height. So if you identify what your base is first, it's going to make life a whole lot easier. So now, let's take a look at this next one here. On this one right here, on the right cylinder, has bases that are circles, bases that are perpendicular to the center axes. Now, here's the axes, here's the center. So now, with my highlighter right here, so I'm going to start off with this is going to be my base. So that is the base of this. So it is a circle that is tall. So from here I have my R, that's the radius of the circle. This is the height. There. That one's the height. So I have the height and I have the radius. So that's all I need for my formula. So this is the base, just like right here. This is the base part. It's the area of the base, just like this one, area of the base, okay, times the height. So now for this right here, if I have my formula here, so it's going to be length times width times height is the actual formula for the volume here. All right, so now on this next one here, let's find the volume of this rectangular right rectangular prism. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out which one I'm going to consider as the base. So for this, that's going to be very helpful. So I'm going to call this one here, I'm going to call this one my base. The base does not always have to be on the bottom. So it doesn't have to be on the bottom. So now I have this. If this is the base, right? For the area of this rectangle, it's length times width, right? Yes? Okay, so now what is this value right here going up and down?
5.
It's 5. I took it from way over here, didn't I? So I have 5. So that means that the area of the base, this is the base piece right here. Now how tall is this rectangle?
12 centimeters.
12 centimeters, right? This is my tallness of that. This is the height that I'm going to have here. So it's the area of the base times the height. So my volume is going to be 5 times 7 times 12. Now, we remember that every single time when we're dealing with area, we know area is always square, right? Class? Okay, area is always square, right? Okay. All right, so now, if area is always square, volume is always cubed. Volume is always going to be cubed. It's always cubed, okay? So this is going to plug this into my calculator here. So if I plug into my calculator, I get, so 5 times 7 times.
420.
Not that fun.
It really is.
Volume is 420. That is my centimeters cubed. Centimeters cubed. Make sense? Questions? It's not bad, right? You suppose?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay.
It's math. It's
Hey, it's not bad, but then it's supposed to be easy. Is it easy?
supposed.
Yes.
Suppose.
It is easy.
All right, so number 2, example 2 that I have here. We're gonna find the volume of the cylinder. Now, first, what is the radius of this?
2.
Why is it 2? Half. The radius is half of it, right? If it's 4 all the way across, it's gonna be 2 right here. Okay, so now identify which one's the base. It's going to be down here on the bottom. Down here at the bottom. So my volume is equal to pi. What's the R? 2 squared. How tall is this? 7. That's all I do right there, right? So, plug this in the calculator as is. I get, let's see. So, pi. There's a pi button down here at the bottom, so please use the pi button. Parentheses, 2, close, square, parentheses, 7, close. Just like that, just as we wrote it up here. Hit enter, and let's round that to a 1/10. If I round that to a 1/10, let's take a look. So this one, if I'm rounding to the 1/10, that means I look at the 6. So is a 6 big enough to make it go up? Yes. As 9 becomes a 10, doesn't it? If that 9 becomes a 10, what am I rounding to? 88.0. We made that 9 become a 10, right? Since we made it become a 10, it's going to be volume is approximately 88.0. What are my units? 0.0, because I rounded to the 10th. I rounded to that number. So if there was a 1 here, you would put the 1, right? So just because there's a 0, why would you not put it? Does that make sense? So for rounding to the 10th, always put the 0 right there, okay? What are my units here, you guys? Meters cubed. Meters cubed. Not bad? Yes. Go ahead. All right, anyone else? Questions there? All right, let's take a look at example 3 here. Now, first we need to identify what is the base. What is the base here? Nope, what shape is the base? It's a triangle, very good, the triangle. So it's a very tall triangle, so think of it like that. So it's a triangle right here, and this is the height. So if I move it and set it down, that's gonna be the height of the triangle there. So I have the triangle, so the area of the triangle times the thickness that I have here. So it's the same thing I did up here on this one, where this one was my rectangle, right? And it was times this, how thick it is here, right? So that's gonna be height of that piece. Now let's take a look at the triangle now. So the area of the triangle. So to find the area of a triangle, you guys recall, what's the area of a triangle? 1/2 base times height, right? So my base here is 6. What's the height? 6 again, right? So this 6 times that 6, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the triangle, right? That's the triangle. Now, how thick is this triangle? There's a number there. Very is not a number. It's going to be 8. Thank you. Man. All right, so we're going to have 8 right there, right? Because that's how thick this triangle is right there. So go ahead, put it in your handy dandy calculator there. There we go, right there, and my answer is 144, right? So 144, so I'm gonna have, oh, this should be V's, shouldn't it? Why don't you guys correct me on that one? You did? Okay, speak up next time, couldn't hear you. All right, so volume is equal to 144, what are my units? Millimeters, M cube. All right. Because we're looking for the volume, I put A instead because I was talking about the area of the triangle. I was talking about the area of the triangle right here. So I kind of messed up on that one, sorry. But, so, now you guys actually have digital record that I have messed up in class. I'm not always right. Okay. All right, is everyone okay? Questions over this? No questions? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to finish this one.